Because of the fact that we're in such a nice natural spot, we needed to merge that quality of setting to the quality of life for our guests.
Crystals are fine in radios. Crystals are fine worn as jewelry. Crystals are fine powering starships, but they have no place in a Feng Shui cure.
I teach them how to decide for themselves which information is useful and what information is not useful.
On today's show, a snow job, Feng Shui blunders, and a place to learn. We have that and so much more. I'm Phil Guerrero. Now, with the help of a Feng Shui practitioner, this holiday resort has become a complete winter wonderland. Here's our first story.
Mont Saint Anne is located 30 minutes east from Quebec City. The great thing about Mont Saint Anne, mostly, it's the mountain itself is a great ski resort in winter and a wonderful getaway place for the summertime. But there's also the river, the St. Lawrence River, which is a magnificent river, one of the main rivers of Canada. So we're just nestled right there in the middle of this natural beauty. In winter, of course, because of the mountains, you can go skiing. This is one of Quebec's main resorts for skiing. The mountain is wonderful, you get plenty of slopes. In the summertime, it's golfing. The hotel has many facilities, among which you've got a swimming pool, indoor, outdoor swimming pool, sauna, game room, exercise room, also many convention halls. We also have one restaurant, which is the Beauregard restaurant, and we have the tea bar, which is our main bar, but also a nice, cozy bistro pub restaurant. We have 240 rooms and great view on the mountain and the ski resort. We also have a spa, which is a skincare and massage center if you want to relax and enjoy your day. Because of the surroundings of the hotel, because of the fact that we're in such a nice natural spot, it was clear to us that we needed to merge that quality of setting to the quality of life for our guests. Tracy came in when we were looking for ways to get there. She helped us get into the Feng Shui lifestyle, that feeling of, hey, let's relax, let's be happy and live.
So the first thing we did is we took a tour of the hotel together, and I pointed out some very obvious things, such as the walls were pretty bare at the time in the restaurant area and as well in the common areas. So we decided to hang some pictures, and being that Quebec has a vast amount of local artists, it was the perfect way to display their work and at the same time give a nice visual to the hotel. We wanted to grab a bit of the exterior lighting and bring it inside, but we didn't want it to be overdone. So the usage of candles as well, scented candles, it adds an extra element. You have the lighting, you have the warmth, the invitingness of the candles, and as well you have the smell. Because I always try to appeal to the five senses. You know, we want mood, and we want to use our nose, we want to smell, because if there's a nice smell wafting, people are walking by, you know, it's after skiing, let's say in the winter, they smell that nice aroma of cinnamon. it gets you going. You want to go sit there and you want to relax and you want to have a beer or you want to have a sandwich, and it really does wonders for the appetite. Also, this bar is a very good place to relax, especially at night. So a lot of people come here now, and it's worked wonders with the overall ambiance. In the restaurants, obviously the restaurant is geared towards large crowds, so it can't be very, very intimate. With the usage of lighting, we've managed to create an ambiance that is warm and welcoming in a very large room, which is sometimes very difficult to do. I think we've done it really well here, and it has proven people, every time we come into this hotel, people are saying how nice and warm it is. So far, there's been 2 conference rooms that have been redone. The blue room was done more from a functional perspective. We wanted to be able to have a room that would accommodate quite a few people, but we wanted to also have it where the color would not interfere with the audio visuals. So the blue color is a more formal color. At the same time, it's relaxing, but it does lend itself to keep you awake. The yellow room was done more for if you want to have a social setting as well as a meeting. We did it in a much more informal way. So the tables are round, people can gather together, there's a fireplace, the tones are much calmer. The yellow is more for relaxation. The front lobby was already quite well. The fish tank was in the right spot with everything in it. There's just a question of getting the fish changed, which we did. The spa is right next door, so it adds itself very nicely to the spa. There's a nice double fireplace, which is very, very inviting. And, you know, again, this is a ski resort in the winter, which is quite a bit of time in Quebec, so we couldn't make it too Zen-ish in the sense that we couldn't put a lot of natural fabrics because the salt on the boots and everything just wears everything away. So what we tried to do is keep it country cabin-ish. The fireplaces, of course, are there because it's cold in Quebec and you want to have somewhere to warm up after you go skiing. But in the summer, it is still an exciting element. Everybody's attracted to sit by the fireplace. They love to read by the fireplace. They love to gather and talk in small groups. So it was a very good area to kind of be set aside from the bar area or, you know, the pool table area or the smoking area. The greatest challenge with this building is the fact that it's made out of cement. Cement is very cold. This is why lighting was so important in this building, because we wanted to create a sense of coziness in an environment that is essentially quite cold. Cement, there's not much you can do with it. It stays cold. Even if you paint it, you know it's cement, it's cold. So this is where we had to try and tone down the cement and add some elements of color that were not too obtrusive, but that would blend well with the exterior so that there's more focus on the exterior, and as well create soft lighting here to lessen the effect of the harshness of the cement that is everywhere. One of the things that I try to create when using Feng Shui is a natural environment. Now, when I say natural, it also has to depend on the setting. So we wanted to leave the lobby in its natural state, but make it more appealing. So this is where we used elements of lighting, elements of greenery such as plants. So what we did is we took the outdoors and we brought it indoors. The director of the hotel, Michel Couture, and I wanted to achieve a sense of peace and tranquility in here, basically to make it a home away from home. So this was our main focus, and I think we've achieved that here. Everybody that comes here feels very, very welcomed and very warm, and they're always telling us, oh, this is great, I feel so at home.
Now, here's today's FSL question. In order to correct a yin environment, what must you do? Introduce movement, increase lighting, use brighter colors, or all of the above? Karen will have the answer to that question at the end of the show.
There was a practitioner in LA who was advising people having neighbor problems to urinate on their property line. That has to be the most reprehensible thing I've ever heard of.
Welcome back. Outspoken Feng Shui activist Cate Bramble is no stranger to this show. We caught up with Cate in Germany.
Someone trying to use flutes to fix things. Flutes, as far as I remember, are musical instruments. They're not items that can do anything to an environment. Mirrors are overused. They belong in the back of a closet door, so you can shut the closet door, or they belong in the bathroom where you can really make use of them. I've had people tell me that they were told to throw salt around to do things. This is an old Western thing. It has nothing to do with Chinese stuff. There was a salt monopoly that the government had in China. They never used salt for anything like that. It was too precious, too expensive. Another one that I've heard, which has to be the most bizarre thing, and it's offended every Asian I've talked to about it, there was a practitioner in LA who was advising people having neighbor problems to urinate on their property line. That has to be the most reprehensible thing I've ever heard of. There are people going around saying that if you need to move out of your house, that you go down and find the most southerly point in the house and move away whatever is heavy there. And that's just so bizarre. I mean, like Master Sang said in his lecture, I mean, if you really want to sell your house, lower the selling price. Crystals are fine in radios. Crystals are fine worn as jewelry. Crystals are fine powering starships, but they have no place in a feng shui cure. Another blender is people thinking that if they have two of everything, a match set of everything, that they'll somehow get a man or a woman. And I'm not sure that that has anything to do with it. I mean, that may make you feel secure about things, but wouldn't it be easier to work on yourself to attract people? Water elements. Oh God, people will come in or they'll call you and say, well, if I put some water over there, will that activate things? Well, water is wonderful. But as we all know from the I Ching, it's also called the abysmal, which means if you get it wrong, you could screw yourself royally. So that's often overused. Like things red and purple and fire element, you have to be very careful about their application. One of my fellow practitioners did a statistical study as far as readings where she'd mopped up after one of the more life aspirations kind of practitioners. And they maybe got it right 20% of the time at best, which means they got it wrong at least 80% of the time. And then sometimes, because of what they installed based on their philosophy, they really screwed the pooch for a lot of people. But people forget that even in the US, people haven't had indoor plumbing for anything more than about 50 or 60 years. So having a toilet and running water in the house is a pretty new thing in most cultures. Most of China does not have running water in the house. So that whole toilet thing is completely blown out of bounds. It has nothing to do with your money. If you're living with a one-holer out back, I mean, what's that got to do with your money? I keep the lid down for safety reasons, and most people do. And if you have little kids, it's a good thing because you don't want your guests to be served a glass of toilet water.
And once again, our FSL question. In order to correct a yin environment, what should you do? Introduce movement, increase lighting, use bright colors, or all of the above? Stay tuned and we'll have the answer at the end of the show.
In my school, I only teach the basic principles, and I ask them to think about the rules.
So, you want to learn about Feng Shui. Where do you start? Well, let us help you out. Here's a story about an established and reputable school.
I started with correspondence courses, so I have students all around the world. Later, they want me to teach in person and they invite me over. So actually, I have been teaching in South America, including Brazil, Chile, Mexico, and this year will be in Argentina as well, South Africa, Europe, in Germany, in France, in the UK, and this year we'll also be going to Spain and maybe Italy. Greece, yes, we've been to Greece. In Asia, well, I did not go back to Hong Kong to teach because there are too many capable of teaching in Hong Kong. I went to teach in Singapore, Australia, yes, Australia, and of course the United States. Well, practically all parts of the world. Oh, my school is called the Feng Shui Research Center instead of Feng Shui School or Feng Shui Institute, because I want people to do research work. You see, traditionally, the teaching is like, I tell you, you listen. I give you the rules, you just follow. No questions asked. I don't like that way. I want people to think. So in my school, I only teach the basic principles. And I ask them to think about the rules. Then it will indicate clearly how the energies from each section come to the house. You mark.
I'm very interested in Feng Shui. I've been in Asia for a few years, and I've seen it in action, and all their buildings are based on Feng Shui, so it's very interesting. Also, my family is interested in Feng Shui, so just want to learn more.
I'm a certified interior designer, so a lot of times what I do for my clients are that I could help them with making changes in their floor plans according to Feng Shui principles before they start building. But most of my clients are people that would like to make major renovations to their homes, and with the Feng Shui principles, I could tell them exactly what kind of changes they can make, the colors, the materials, and also what they are doing would conform to both design principles as well as Feng Shui principles.
I come from a traditional Chinese family with traditional thinking, being so superstitious. They just blindly follow whatever people tell them to do, not understanding the reasoning behind that. So I took this course just to find out the reason why things are done a certain way and what things can be cured, basically.
Right now I'm a Feng Shui consultant for New York, and I teach and I do Feng Shui consultations. And the reason I'm back here is Joseph Yu is a wonderful teacher, and you can always learn from a great master. Whenever I come here, I will hear different things, and my perspective is different because now you understand the subject to a certain point, and when you hear it again, even though it may be the same, you hear it in a different way, and to me it's in a much more advanced stage. So it's always good to rehear what you have learned.
This is the detailed technical part, okay? So I repeat from the beginning, you must have a floor plan ready. The way I teach is that I just teach them how to think, how to learn, not really passing on information. And I teach them how to filter information, how to decide for themselves which information is useful and what information is not useful. That is why they learn much better in my course.
Even though I'm a practitioner and I'm teaching it, the way Joseph teaches is different every time. And the way I've come to understand it is that there is layers and layers and layers. And I understand one layer in one class, and I come back for the same class, and I hear another layer. So it never ends. It's never ending. He knows how to get the material, and he knows how to look at his student and then present it in a way that student understands it.
It's way more technical than I thought it would be. It's so much different compared to what the general consensus or the general opinion of Feng Shui is, just put something in a lucky position and buy some gold frogs or something, but that really doesn't have anything to do with Feng Shui.
I teach various levels, and they cannot learn everything within 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. Well, in 5 years, they have learned a lot. And actually, some of my students have reached a level that they can be called masters. And a master is a level at which they have integrity. They are virtuous people. So it is both the knowledge and the conduct and the behavior of the people that qualify them as masters.
Thank you.
Well, I'm hoping by taking this course that I can further myself in a career, possibly enhancing on kitchen design, which I have done in the past, house design, and maybe bringing Feng Shui out to more of the general public rather than being sort of exclusive sort of thing for certain types of people.
I think I have to study quite a bit more because there's so much to learn, but I would eventually like to become a Feng Shui practitioner and use it to help other people set up their houses and things like that.
There's so many courses available in this wonderful country. And through the internet, I found out about Master Joseph. And of course, there is no comparison between books and real master teaching. I learned a lot. I met wonderful people, women who quit their jobs and decided to do something that they're supposed to be doing in life, to do their calling. I'm 36 years old. I have some wisdom, and I'm capable of teaching other people. Plus, if I can study from master and tell people how to heal their hearts, their houses, etc., then I will be more than an accomplished woman.
And now to answer the FSL question. The question was, how do you correct a yin environment? Introduce movement, increase the lighting, use bright colors, or all of the above? The answer is all of them. In order to correct yin, you use yang. It's that balance thing. We'll see you next time.
Please refer to your manuals.